achieved and everything else, it's been a byproduct of fear and failure. I love those two things. I think they're the only two things that really move the needle in life. There's no safe endeavors, and a sure shit becomes really dangerous when you half-ass it. Anybody here like football? Yeah, big season, right? You know, let's say you're the running back. You know, game's on the line. You're in the huddle. You get the call. 32 power. Ball's coming to you. You got to pick up 3 yards. Everything's riding on you. You know, when you get the ball, 11 guys are going to come after you, hit you, right? It's freaky. Everything's on the line. What are you going to do in that moment? What happens? Because you're going to get hit. The question is, do you give the hit or do you take the hit? Two totally different things. It's the progressive approach or the sedative approach. If you're going into an endeavor and you're giving it your all and you're giving the hit, you'll probably pick up that first down. You'll probably pick up the yards you need. You probably won't get injured. If you do go in there hesitant on anything, most likely you don't pick up the first down for one. That hit, you get hit on, and you probably get injured too. Same opportunity, different way to look at it. The word luck. Everyone goes, oh, you need luck in life. You need luck in life. A successful module is something that you can repeat. Everything inside that module is based on your ability, your reactions. Every single day, you put something in there, you control all of those elements. There's nothing that you can't control in there. Luck is something you can't control. You can't rely on it for the next endeavor. Happen today, it can't happen tomorrow. Luck doesn't exist there. Steroids in this business runs rampant. You can't rely on that either. Basically what you're saying is that, who I am isn't good enough unless I had that. How sad is that approach? That who I am isn't good enough in your eyes unless I'm taking this third-party supplement. And heaven forbid if that doesn't go my way on the time I need it, then everything I've built up to this point is a lie. If I can't continue to deliver it, and then we run into a real problem where success starts to define us instead of us defining success. And that messes up the psyche. But the luck portion, let's just say, let's just talk about that guy real fast. Is there luck? There is luck in the world, right? It's so unanimous that there's terms like good luck. There's bad luck. There's blind luck. There's dumb luck. How can you rely on such a word that has so many different adjectives in front of it? What luck really is having a belief in oneself, an ability, a passion of something that you train and you master and you remaster and you remaster and you give it thousands of hours in the lab with no one watching. 5:30 in the morning, it's raining. You're getting up running. Your competition's still sleeping. And you do it with no one watching. And the event, one day, that trained ability collides with an opportunity. That's all luck is. And those opportunities come and go every single day. It's your ability to notice them and then to react to them. How do you notice them? How do you have the ability to see them? Because you're looking for them. I started a landscaping business when I was a kid. And so got a couple lawnmowers, saved up some money and stuff. Had a truck I borrowed from my dad. Hired some guys from school and started a little program. So I remember the very first time I was in that truck. I was at the stoplight, it's a 4-way stoplight, and I'm looking around and I'm like, fucking A, man. There's like landscaping crews all over the place. I'm like, where do these people come from? They've always been there. I just never saw them until I was in a landscaping truck and I saw my competition. People that think about buying a new car. It's like this new Audi out there or something like that. Until you have a perspective of it, you don't see that. It's all over the place. Those opportunities are the same way. Unless you're looking for it and feel it, you won't ever see those opportunities. The thing is, you don't know how many times they're going to come by. And heaven forbid that opportunity does come marching by you, and you haven't trained that ability, and you aren't ready to deliver it. What happens then is regret. It's a never-ending debate inside your head, wondering what if, how, what could have been. You'll never find resolve there. You never find a verdict. It's much better to burn the midnight oil right now. Otherwise, you're going to stay away from the midnight hours wondering what could have been. That sucks. Like right now, you guys are sitting there, and you all have these ideas, these passions, these things that you believe in that could be. Well, get in line. Everyone does. Everybody does. The differential between a good product, collecting dust, a good product that actually transforms people in whatever endeavor, in whatever theater, is the ability to get it out there. The ability to show up. If you constantly show up, constantly throw shit against the wall, eventually something sticks. You put yourself in the opportunity to get that break. You can't sit back. Taking that first step, that's the hardest step in life. It really is. Because you're all on your own. No one's really going to support you. Everyone calls you crazy. Every major mover in the world, I think, has been called crazy. You know, only later to be called, a genius. But first, crazy. That first step is the hardest step. Everything harder than the first step is later in life. As time expires, the windows of opportunity start to close. And you look back and you're like, no, you could have been great. That sucks. There's nothing you can do about that then. So it's about making the most of the opportunities right now. My career and everything started by having a belief in what I wanted to do and not scared to try it. Even if I fail, that's great. I see failure as a huge positive because that's your honest report card. You don't learn anything success. Who learns anything by your hand being raised and everyone kissing your ass? No one learns there. You learn when you get your ass knocked down. And do you have the intestinal fortitude to stand back up, reface what just knocked you down? Because if you do, eventually you overcome it. Because in life, genetics, potential, is a distant second to one's perseverance for it. That's the one that wins the marathon, the person that continues to get up and try and fail, try and fail, and try and fail, ensuring that they never fail to try. Because nothing's really impossible. People with far less ability than you, far less potential than you, have achieved far greater than you. Why? Because they want it that bad. Just a spelling of impossible. If you look at the spelling, break it up, it's impossible. Okay? But we look at it as impossible. It's a perspective on how you see something. If I tell you this is white, and this is universally white, right? That's a law society says. That is status quo. Society's given guarantee white. That's not as strong as the perception on how you see it. That's the reality difference. When I first started this business, first of all, I was in the military, right? And when I was in the military, this confidence someone has, this ability, this is the juice, the perseverance, the mindset, the willpower, the indomitable the person that everyone has nurtured to. It's a God-given seed that we're born with. It's not like I've got a big seed, he's got a small seed, she's got a bigger seed. There's no difference. We all have the same seed. We just need to water and nurture it. And once it grows, it's perishable. Use it or lose it. It's called confidence, your ability. And you can overcome adversity. But if you don't water and nourish it, then it's like going to the gym. If you don't continue to go, you lose what you got. Nothing's guaranteed. It's like when you get married and you have a marriage. You have to work on it every single day. You have to risk it. You have to show up to it. Apply effort to it, right? That's what you have to have. How do you build it? How do you grow that? How do you grow that seed? That for people like Thomas Edison, he failed 1,093 times. He failed and failed and failed and failed. And his failure was the strength to finally make the light bulb light. How does someone have that tenacity to continue to believe in something so strong, even though everyone says no? How do we question what the world says? Why do we question status quo? Because if we don't, I think the world's still flat, isn't it? Things like the Industrial Revolution never happens. What we see and how we live our lives. We re-network the entire systematic approach. But at first, see with abrasiveness. Adversity. Steve Jobs, one person changed the framework of everybody in here is affected by one man's ability of Steve Jobs. How do you do that? It's not how you do it. First, believe it can happen. That one person can override a society's nomenclature of what is right and what is wrong. If you understand that part, then it's just a matter of hard work. But your directional path. When you get up in the morning, and let's say you're headed to the grocery store or something, right? Don't we all get in the car? We go down, we know exactly where the grocery store is, right? We go down the street, make a left-hand turn, we're going to go up here, make a U-turn, come back, park in the grocery store. We know Phil, we know Janet that work there. We know the path, right? We know start, we know finish, we know how to get there. Why don't we have that same mentality in our life? Why don't we get up and with no directional path of where we're going? Why don't we have an end state, a beginning and end? Know what our goal is. Once we know what our goal is, then we back research what it takes to achieve that goal. If I want to be a doctor, I know it's 4 years here, it's residency here. That's going to take this much time, that much time. We take one big goal, we break it down into small, monthly or weekly or daily achievable goals, know one track. So we have accountability. When people are getting in shape and stuff and trying to transform their body, I say you need a goal. What is that goal? Let's say an event in the future, whether it be a marathon you want to run, high school graduation, something in the future. We have to know about that, right? Once we know that, say it's a marathon, 90 days out. Boom. We tell the world we're going to do this. Why do we do that? Because we will lie to ourselves over and over again. We will spit on our own selves. We will rob ourselves. Oh, we're not rob someone else, usually. Like if you have a training partner and you're going to the gym, you'll bail on going to the gym because, whatever, do it tomorrow. But if someone's relying on you, it takes a really weak person to bail on someone else. So we tell everybody we're going to do this marathon because everyone then has accountability to us. We have responsibility, right? Then we have 90 days. What happens there is that we just bookmark our life. We can't push today's requirements to tomorrow. Because if we do, we lose 1/90 of the chance to make that dream a reality. So all of a sudden, by having a back-end goal, a fixed point, then we have accountability today. We have to get this done to make that happen. And tomorrow is more work to do. We can't blow up today's responsibility till tomorrow. That's how the module works. And you start to build these character building blocks. Why I love the gym so much is this. It's the fairest form of society. It's non-subjective. Everything else in the world is very subjective. Meaning, the first place doesn't always finish first. The best doesn't always finish first. There's a lot of subjective minds to it. In the gym, non-subjective. Harder you work, faster you get it. You want to do more, you get more out. It's very fair, very balanced. And in that process to build your body, you start to build these character fundamental blocks. These things called intensity, work ethic, sacrifice, integrity, sweat equity, every single day. That you get up, you believe something's out there. You know it can be. So now it's just a matter of hard work. We all have that ability. But who's going to work hard? So every day you start to build it. And it's 5:30 in the morning, everyone's sleeping, you still get up. You're hungover one day, but you're committed. You go to it. You continue to pay your dues every single day. And over time, you look in the mirror, you're like, damn, dude, wow, that looks pretty, that's me. That looks great. And while you're looking in there, you see the transformation physically from A to B, and standing in the mirror, you're like, yeah, what just happened is the greatest thing of anyone that's successful. And it's the missing element that if you don't have, you'll never be successful. It's the mentality, confidence, that hard work pays off. Yeah, we build our body, it's great, right? But what we just built is an undominable will that by learning what sacrifice is, dedication, what failure is, because you can't grow in the gym until you fail. That failure is pushing where your current level is to the next level, forcing a demand for your body to grow from. Without a demand, there's no reason for your body to grow. So failure becomes your strength. Your dedication, your due diligence, all these things you start to harbor, sharpen. It's like an arsenal you're going to war with. Once you build them, you transform your body, but now you say, you know what? I can just take this other elements I learned here and apply them to other areas in life. From corporate America, now I'm a CEO, to being a good husband to your wife, to being someone in the community as a role model, doesn't just talk it, words hollow, but backs them up with action. Now we're talking to character. And when you have character, then you have value. And when you have value, people come to you. People want to know about you. Why is everyone buying the iPhone right now? Who has an iPhone? Pretty much the majority of the room, right? You guys know Samsung's a better phone. On paper, it's a better phone. Straight down the list. It's also half the price. Why do we buy the iPhone? Because of the name, the value. Why doesn't Ferrari make a $30,000 car? Because you have to pay for excellence. There's a spirit of credibility there that it's not like anyone can have. You have to work for it. It's a status, a symbol of excellence. It's a symbol of hard work. It's the same mentality of an individual. We are our own company. We're building the IPO value of our own self. And how do we do that? It's character and value. We have to build, in fitness, we're building a body, right? That's the easiest part of the whole module. And that's the thing that in the fitness industry, that's all anyone cares about. Gotta get a good body, gotta get a good body. Getting a good body is having a product. Like all your ideas, that's all it is. But how do you get that product out there? Now we turn to the business side, the marketing, the distribution, networking, how to get that into people. And if it is in people's eyes, do they even want it? Does it fill a void in society? Is there a purpose for it? Or is it just you trying to show off, how big your dick is or something? What is a purpose to it? It has to have value. It has to fulfill a purpose. But you don't learn these things until you're willing to fail. And that failure is that report card coming up showing you where your shortcomings are, where you need to reapply your effort. And then you can fix that weak link in the chain of life to really bring your game up. But it takes guts, it takes strength. You have to be honest with yourself. You can't be worried about past achievements or popularity or anything else. You got to have your eye on the prize of where you're going to go. And if you do, then you're going to honestly look at yourself and be, yeah, I'm deficient here, I'm deficient there. You know what? That doesn't matter if I'm deficient there, because that's not who I am. This is where I am. And guess what? I know how to work hard, so I can improve that. But thank God I failed, so therefore I know that. So it's not about who wins today. It's the battles in life that you keep going and you win the war of life. And it's really imperative with that. I've never learned anything, as powerful as I've learned from failure. But let me give you a few examples. So my life. So I first started out as a kid. My dad's a big athlete. My grandfather's pro in 2 sports. So I came out of the womb with like a stick and a ball in my hand. I had to play sports, right? And I loved it. I didn't have Nintendo or anything else or video games. I was always outside playing ball. If the sun was up, I was outside playing ball. But in the summertime, all my buddies would be over. We'd be playing ball all day long, even into the dark. We'd be playing ball. Well, my dad would come home from work and he's like, how's that summer reading going? Because as you go from like 2nd grade to 3rd grade or 3rd grade to 4th grade, you got to read these books. And I didn't want to read the books. I want to play ball. And I'm like, nah, Dad, I don't have time for that right now. I gotta play ball, man. He goes, that's cool. I appreciate that. Your mind will get you further than your body. So here's our deal, okay? I want you to keep playing ball, but I need a half an hour. Half an hour reading a day, then play all the ball you want. Or if you don't want to do a half an hour, I'll give you an option. I'll give you options. You make the decision. And I'm like 7 years old or something, I'm not really, I don't really know what options are. I don't know how to spell it, and I don't read. So here's the other option. Half an hour reading, or we had a pool in the backyard. I need you to swim 200 laps, and I need to do about 200 push-ups, 200 sit-ups, and run 2 miles. If you add all that up, that's a couple hours probably. But in defiance at a young age, I'm like, fuck you, Dad, I'll take the workout, man. I'll run my shit. So I did that. I started doing the workout. And after about a week, my dad comes home and he's like, damn, my little gamble I thought was so easy isn't paying off. So he ups the ante. Now it's like 500 laps, 500 push-ups, 5 miles. I continue to do the workout. And what I noticed at a young age is by doing this workout, it wasn't like I was in the mirror with bulging biceps or any of that kind of stuff, but I saw myself faster in the field. I had more speed, I had more energy. I was running laps around my competition. I go, wow. So what I really learned, unbeknown to me, is that hard work here increases my chance of success here. Hard work pays off. I go, I've got hard work. I can do that. I'm not the most talented. I'm not the most gifted, but I'm sure shit going to be the hardest worker. I don't have a problem with that. Now later we came to some agreement on the reading thing and stuff. But at first that was what I learned at a young age. So fast forward to that, I was a big wrestler. And, all stayed in every sport, like football and golf and wrestling and stuff. But wrestling was my real passion, I was a 3-time state champ and All-American. I remember my sister, a year ahead, 15 months my elder. She was an academic. She was really a brain. And she went to the Naval Academy. And I remember when she came back from that first summer. Blew my mind. Because this person who I hated so much, growing up, because she was like a second mother to me. She'd always call me out. And I was trying to sneak beer from my mom and dad. She would yell on me, or trying to steal cigarettes from them or something, or trying to bring the girl home through the back way, And she just called me out, I just fucking hated her. And I was like, I cannot wait for the bitch to leave. Seriously, And then she came back after being gone for a summer, and I saw her walking with her shoulders back, her head high, and the balls of her feet, walking with a purpose. She was fucking natural, just energy, man. It was like I could see it, touch it, it's intangible. I felt like I could cut there. The night was just so alive. I want some of that. This is the person I hate. I'm so impressed by it in such a short period of time. I go, what is that? It's the way she held herself now. We went to a restaurant, and she looks at the menu for 2 seconds, and I memorized it. Because, and my man here knows what I'm talking about. He went to West Point. You have to learn all this knowledge, front page, you have to recite it and stuff. So you learn to really quickly absorb stuff. And I'm like, wow, man, I'm not even to the appetizers. And she's already knows what she wants for dessert. I'm like, I need to get on that track. So I had a bunch of scholarships for wrestling and stuff. And I just said, the hell with it, man. I want to go to the Naval Academy. And so it's a kind of a lengthy process. It's not just an application or something else. We have to go and get one, you get a congressional appointment from one of your senators or a congressman, which they don't have that many slots, and that's real competitive. Then you have to do a physical test, a psych test, all these different things. Then you have to do the application, and you have to have, well, I even had to get an anal probe, man. Old lady, I get a stool sample, I'm sitting there, and she loops me up and takes this cylinder, and I shit you not, it's a cold, and some people might like this, not me. And she's like, "Who we're fucking needing?" I'm like, "Welcome to West Point." It was an acronym. It's called BOHICA in the military. Everything's an acronym. So it's like you always get these shit missions, coming down, and you're just like BOHICA, just whatever, carry on. It means bend over, here it comes again. That's what the acronym is. Whatever, getting off point here. So anyway, get into Naval Academy and sit to go there. Finals of nationals in wrestling. The West Point coaches come up to me. And they go, "Hey man, you got a congressional bid for West Point too. You ever think about going to West Point?" I'm like, no, haven't thought about it. Why is that? I go, because my sister's at the Naval Academy, and my mom and dad in Baltimore. They're my rock, they're my foundation, they're everything to me. Still my best friends in the world to this day. I can't be without them. So Naval Academy's gonna work better for me there. I go, "Oh, okay. So what you're telling me basically is that who you are really isn't you. It's a composite of all these other people, and that you're scared to be alone, and all that." I was like, "Fuck you, man. Are you serious? You're the one asking me to come there. You're gonna come at me with that attitude?" I'm definitely going to Naval Academy. West Point sucks, by the way, too. And it made me think, like, why? End state. What did I get out of Naval Academy? What did I get at West Point? Why would I go to one way or the other way, right? And I couldn't come up with a reason why one was better. The only thing that was pushing my needles to Naval Academy West Point is because I was scared shitless of being alone. I'd never been alone. My dad's been there for me for everything, my mom is my greatest strength. All that stuff. I'd never been on my own, and I didn't want to start now. And I thought 4 years from now, when I get knocked down, I had to find intestinal fortitude, stand back up. 4 years of being on my own, as opposed to being able to run to my sister for help, my parents for help, wherever else. Who's going to build the most character in life? Who am I going to be at the end? And at that point, a big fear popped up. It's time to grow up. Now, some people are told to grow up later in life. Some people are told to grow up earlier in life. I was told to grow up right there. And if I went to the Naval Academy with this information, I just screwed. And that fear would always be alive in me. And that fear would rob me of my true potential, because part of my being would be left there at that point. So I didn't have a choice at that point. I remember the West Point coaches called me up. I was late at night. And my mom and dad, were real close, and so they're downstairs, and it's like 11 o'clock at night. And so I call up Coach Wood, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'll see you there. It's the summer, man. I'm coming to you guys." And he's all pumped. I hang up the phone. I'm like, "All right, that's over with." Put on some clothes, go for a jog. I come downstairs. My mom and dad, they're like, "Hey guys, so I decided to go to West Point. So I'll be back." They're like, "What?" They go to sleep at 11. I went for like a 2-hour run. I come back at 1 in the morning, like, "Wide awake. We need to talk." I go, "I need to grow up. I need to go." So I went there. And sure enough, it was tough. And then it was time, once you got out of that, where do you go from there, Because you have to go into the service for 5 years. And so for me, again, at the fork in the road, where do I go? Do I take the beaten path or the path less traveled? I think the path less traveled is one that leads to character. I think that if you face your fears, or behind that fear is a small door, self-created, that you create, is the person you've always wanted to be. Half these fears, they're intangible. They don't exist. Fear in its own right is a parasite feeding off you, the hopes. And what does it feed on? It feeds on your confidence. And as soon as you find that fear, that's when you can kill it easiest. I got a story of this girl that we went bungee jumping with. 5-mile hike up to the bridge with bungee jumping. And this girl's it's all talk, man. You can't shut her up, man. Attractive, I kind of thought she was a little cute, and so I put up with the talk and everything else. But you know what I'm talking about. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So we're walking up there, and she's just like, "Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a gainer off of it." All this, bigger balls than I have, I feel like, And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I'm thinking, man, this girl is rocking, man. All right, that's be cool. We get up there, man. Talk. We get to the bridge, and when you look over the bridge, big ass rock down there in the river, man. Just saying, "What's up? How you doing?" It's about 200 feet drop. And so she comes over to the edge of the bridge, and she's like, "Yeah." And all of a sudden, self-paralysis starts to set in, the fear, the reality of what's happening. She doesn't have control and everything else. And you can see her start to shake, man. And she starts to hold on to the railing, and she comes down to her knees, man. And she starts to skirt back, and now this tough bitch is in a fetal position, and can't even talk right now. I go, hey, what's up with all the big balls on the way up? What's going on now? She's like, I'm good. Trying to back out, right? Fear has just presented itself to her. She doesn't know what to do. She wants out right now. So I jumped a few times, kind of shows all good, and her time to jump. Man, it was like pulling dead weight, man. We finally got her suited up,
and she stepped over the bridge and stuff. And when you go to the bridge, about a half-inch piece of metal, separating you and the drop. And it's real at that point, man. It's really real. And it's your body saying, nope, don't do this. But what's going to push you? This is that hesitation as a football player. Are you going to go and take that hit, or are you going to get hit? Because if you don't launch off that, there is a huge risk of you hurting yourself by hitting your chin on the board or anything else. You've got to clear yourself from that. But if you're hesitant, so hesitation can cause your worst fears to become your reality. Or if you live in the moment and you believe in your ability, that untrained ability that you train over and over again with no one watching, you master it, and hopefully the opportunity to explode it, then you can take a situation like this with confidence and actually find reward from it. So she's full of fear right now. I mean, she's shaking, and the instructors are trying to talk to her and everything. And she's like, all right, we're going to count down to 5, gets everybody around. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And she just, fuck no, man. She's just holding on to this one with dear life like it's grandma. She ain't going nowhere. And I'm sitting over here on the other side of the bridge, and I'm like, oh, yeah. As cute as she was on the way up, man, disgusting in my eyes now. Why? This confidence, I think it's the greatest. It's the most aphrodisiac asset someone can have, confidence. You have someone walking with confidence, you have that aura about them, not cocky, just confident, It's sexy, man. It's sexy. And she didn't have it anymore. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, man, really? Wow. What a buzzkill, And so the instructors are trying, can't do it. So they go, all right. So she's coming over. She's coming over the rail and stuff. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, fuck that, man. I come running around the side. And I go, boom! Deck the bitch right off the bridge. She goes back and my skin crawls thinking about it, man. I don't think I've ever heard this before. It's like fucking Satan literally came at me. It was like this sound that I was like, it was so scary, it made me think, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. If Warner Brothers needed some background music for the next horror flick, black screen, just put this noise up there and people come and see this flick. So she comes down, boom, says hello to the rock, doesn't hit it. Comes back up. You guys know Newton's third law, right? Energy's never lost but transferred, right? That's what just happened. She killed that fear, So that fear, that energy, that negative was dead. Energy, where's it go? Comes back in confidence. She came back up like someone just gave her first newborn baby, like a kid on Christmas, like kissed for the first time, just got engaged to, just wow, loving life. Jumped like 3 more times. You think she talked a lot on the way up? Fuck, man. We could have shut her up. I shouldn't have pushed you up. Well, let's really look at what happened there. What really happened there, fear presented itself, right? And what did she do? With some help. Faced it, right? She left that moment stronger for it. If she succumbed to it, like me going to West Point or Naval Academy, I went to Naval Academy knowing the fear existed and didn't confront it, then the fear would start to grow and take over my confidence. And then I would be a prisoner of that fear. But I destroyed it. And right behind that fear that I created was the person I wanted to be. If she did not do it at that point, then that feeling, that negative thing, would be inside of her, moving into the next objective, the next task of life. And the next task of life, maybe it's a challenge. And maybe in that challenge, she doesn't tell anybody. She's not all big balls in the way. She's a little quiet because she doesn't want that to repeat itself. Or maybe even worse yet, I'm not even going to do it. So then all of a sudden, she's not living her dreams. She's living a path that's opposite of fear and going in whatever direction that is, unbeknown to her, losing control. So it's really imperative going forward in business, everything else, you have those same jumps you have to make, those leaps of faith. But they aren't leaps of faith. They're backloaded with work, training, education, becoming a student of the system, understanding it all. So you mitigate as much risk as possible. And then you go for it. Everything's a risk in life. But if you're backloaded with passion and love and you believe it, you can't fail that. Every single iconic person we ever known has failed and failed and failed before they succeeded. Michael Jordan said, I failed and I failed and I failed and I failed, and that's why I succeeded. 1,000 buckets drained with no one watching. So when it does matter, nothing but net. It doesn't affect it. The situation can't be controlled. It's muscle memory. Boom, boom, boom. You're doing what you believe. You've trained it. I remember when I was growing up wrestling. It was a tournament around Christmas time. But everything was riding on this match. The team the team points were riding. The guy I was wrestling was #1 in a state. I bumped up a weight class to wrestle this guy. So it was the finals. Me and this guy, he hasn't been beat for a couple years. And I'm behind the curtain trying to get ready for this match, you know. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm just nervous, you know. And my dad comes around, you know, my biggest like source of inspiration and stuff. He's like, how we feeling? You know, and my dad, by the way, he's overweight now. He's like 260, 280. He never wrestled before, you know. But he's going to come at me right now with all this intel, you know, all this first-hand experience. So he's like, how you feeling? I'm like, man, I'm nervous. He's like, why are you nervous? What the fuck you mean why I'm nervous? What do you think? You think there's is Disneyland out there? No, I'm nervous. What do you look outside? That's why I'm nervous. No, I don't see anything to be nervous about. I go, you just shut up, man. I don't want to hear this. And he's like, why are you nervous? I go, I don't want to lose. He goes, you just lost. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? I go, go sit down, man. Go eat a fucking hot dog. That fuck. No, I love my dad, but at that point, I'm like, get out of here, man. I don't want anything to do with you. So he's like, why are you nervous? I don't want to lose. And I get what you're saying. And in that moment right there, you know, we are what we believe. A perception of the truth is as powerful as our perception of how to see it. One of the books, I was as good as this guy, maybe even better. That's how the book's read it and everything else. I've trained my ass off. I'm equipped for it. I'm in better shape. I'm faster. He's a little bit, I mean, it's stacked up nicely. I should win this. But I was freaked out about everything else. So I was losing it before I even tried it. I was taking myself out of the game before even doing it. Why am I doing that? The preservation of life, the terror management syndrome that humans have and animals don't have. Knowing we're mortal, but trying to live for immortality. You know, so in the preservation of life, because we don't want to die, in the preservation of life, we stop living in its own right. We don't want to die, And in our efforts not to die, we don't even live. That's what I'm doing right there. I don't want to lose what I got. And if it is so fucking valuable what I have, and I can't lose it, then I can never gamble it. If I can't gamble and I can't lose it, I can't grow from it. All of a sudden, this success I've had right now is defining me. I need to define it. It can never be the other way around. So my dad's like, you've done the work. You've done the training. You've killed yourself over and over again when no one's watching. And you went back and killed yourself. This is a time of excitement. This is a time you get to show it all off when the guy out there. You get to show what hard work does. You get to kill him. You get the title. All that work right now, you're a few moments away of getting the title now. If you're nervous, it's because you haven't done the work. And I'm here to assure you, you've done the work. You know you've done the work. So when this opportunity is coming, you're ready for it. It changed my psyche up totally because I had nothing to lose at that point. Even if I failed, I get back up and keep going, you know. But if I fail, it's because he beat me, not because I beat myself. That's why my dad took it out, and I went out there and killed this guy. But I would have lost him if my dad didn't talk to me. Not because the guy's better than me, but because mentally I wasn't equipped with my body at the time. Back to the military. So I go to West Point, graduate. I go into the infantry. That's the hardest route I could have gone. You know, there's all these other platforms. You know, I picked the hardest one. So now I got a grudge against my own ass. I got to hit the hardest route, because that's the most one that pays off and pays off. There comes a point of return where that sucks. You know, you get tired of always being the hard ass. But that's what I did. I didn't know what I was going to do, and both choices, you know, were admirable. But you know, so the harder one is what I was going for. So I went for that. What post do I go to? What unit? I went to Korea. You know, the furthest one away. This hell on earth kind of post. Could go to Hawaii. All these things. I went to the hardest one. I thought harder it is, the more I gain from it. That's the lessons I've learned and stuff. Do really well. Rangers, get out as an Army captain. Had a real successful career. 5-year mark. Stay in, stay out. For me, the real love was the people working with the soldiers. Once that was gone, I kind of lost the love to do what I wanted to do. You go into that political stage of every career. The military, right to a company command, goes into that ass-kissing political, trying to get to the next rank. I didn't want to do that. I had more goals in life, so it was time for me to bounce. So what am I going to do? Male modeling. That sounds good, right? People are like, dude, Army Ranger, West Point graduate, male model, man. What the fuck was wrong? What happened there?
That's FUBAR.
FUBAR? Fucked up beyond all recognition, right? That's how people looked at me. Fuck them. You know? Why do I give value to a third-party subjective? They don't pay my bills. Why am I giving them value? I'm on my path, what I believe inside. There's two types of confidence. There's internal pride. That's a positive one. There's an external ego. And why are you going this direction? If it's because of the ego, you're not going in your own path. And you'll never be able to get to the distance because you can't satisfy everybody. You know, it's like you have to go from within, who you are. If you're doing that, don't worry. That's like what I said. Everyone, called people crazy at first for doing something. Later, they're calling genius. Don't worry. They don't see it because they're in a sedative state. You have to override that. They cannot be part of your system of success. They can't be repeated. Different people, different meanings. You can't have that support. Me growing up, I was using my parents as part of my success. I had to break free of that to be able to repeat this. My parents would always be there. So I had to get rid of that. In your system module success, you have to control all the elements. So therefore, I had to control this. So for me, moving forward, male modeling was the exact same as being a ranger. Why? Because it challenged me. Same thing. Different theaters, the challenge was there. People get successful, right? It's very easy for me to ride out the military. I was doing really well, I was top of my peer group, could have stayed in there forever, but I wasn't being challenged. It was like a rehearsal every single day. I could do whatever I wanted to do. It was like I wasn't reacting to anything. It was just simple. It's a rehearsal. Every day was a Groundhog's Day. I wasn't growing from it. If you don't grow from it, if you're not challenged by it, then how do you ever grow from that? So for me, I had to bounce. And if you look at my careers and stuff, from being like an all-American wrestler, I gave up all that to go to West Point to be a skydiver, and become an Army Ranger. Gave all up to be a fitness model. Why am I giving all this up? Most people build a career by going to school for the right thing, getting the right residency, the right, internship, and then building on the same module. That's cool as long as there's a challenge. If there's no challenge, then you get stagnant. And in stagnant, it's like water in your backyard. You got a pond, right? You got boys coming over, have some beers and stuff. You got this pond out there, not moving. What grows in that thing? Fucking algae, mosquitoes and shit. You're hitting the beer, you get fucking bit and stuff. You're like, no one's coming over for a burger, man. Put a fountain in there, get some movement in that thing. Oh, beautiful water, man. Oasis. Beer tastes good, good company. Yeah, sit down. All right. So it's the same thing, but you're moving, right? Without the challenge. And people are like, so what's the future hold? Where are you going to go? What's the next step? The next challenge. And I'm so sick of seeing this. And Bruce Lee said it well. You want the title? Don't look at the title. It's a piece of alloy or plastic or whatever. There's no value to that. You really want that? Look at the person who got it. Look at the character that came. Why he came. Why he did this. Why did he fail to succeed it? What kept him going? What was the will? What was the starting force to initiate that path? Because without that, if your fuel isn't like 100%, you will gas out in that journey and never cross that finish line. What gave that person the drive to overcome that and beat people against the odds that people never thought he would beat, or better yet, he didn't think he would beat? What was that fuel? What was that driving force? Whatever it is, that's what makes a title so valuable. Going to Ranger School wasn't like some piece of cloth you put on. There's a brotherhood, there's an essence, there's history behind that. That stands for something. Therefore, when I embarked that journey, I understood the value of what I was going for. Therefore, when I first walked into the compound at 2 in the morning, got knocked from the back, slammed into the mud, some guys up there taking a piss on me, calling me a shit stick, doing 500 push-ups before I'm even like 5 feet into the yard. I can't even move, and I came in the best shape of my life. And that's the first 5 minutes of 70 days if I go straight through. Let's start to question this. I didn't question it. I saw that as a worthy down payment, a necessary down payment for me to go through to turn into what I value. If that title was all about impressing, how I look in front of youth people, I would never get there. It had to be for me. I had to do it because I wanted it. And because I valued it so much, I took that fear, that physical pain as a glue of transformation, a necessary component of what success is all about. I welcomed it. I gave the hit. I didn't get hit. Big difference. I couldn't think about, what a toilet is. I didn't have that luxury. Toilet paper, clean sheets, a shower, a piece of food to eat. Because you go days without food. You don't sleep. I couldn't think of that. I couldn't think of my girlfriend. That would just make me weak. I had to stay in the moment here. Because at the end of it all, I wanted to be there standing. So when I decided to do the male modeling thing, the way it all started was like, I came back from overseas and I'm at a hotel lobby bar, man. And I'm just sitting there getting drunk with a couple buddies. And it happened to be the same place as this convention, And And this convention, kind of like this, whatever else, but it's like agents and models and a lot of bullshit, basically. You know, a lot of sharks saying, yeah, I can give you everything. You can come to my room, I'll show you. It's that kind of shit, you know? And so anyway, but a lot of good-looking girls around there, you know? I'm just, you know, I come back from overseas, man. I'm trying to get the night situated, you know? And I'm talking to this girl and stuff, and she got some friends. I'm like, yeah, baby, where you going one night? All of a sudden, I get this tap on my shoulder. And it's literally like a fucking hobbit, man. It's like, got a ball, he's looking up at me, he's tapping his hand, he smells, he's tapping my shoulders and all. And I look back, like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's like scared me, man. I'm like, what do you got here, man? All of a sudden, the girls, you know, like, you know him? I'm like, I don't know him. No, I don't. Hey, man. I'm like, what do you look? Ugh. You know, I need like take a shower with like Brillo pad to clean it all off. He's like, man, you're here for the convention. I mean, whatever the fuck you're here for, you've been up my here for that, man. So just go back where you came from. He's like, you got a good look, man. You should come to our room and get some pictures. I'm like, what the fuck? All my buddies go, what? Those were fighting words back in my day, you know? I didn't know what that meant, you know, my pictures. And so I'm like, let's go, what room? No. So I'm like, no, man, I don't think so. And he gives me his card. And yeah, it's like 2 weeks later, right? I'm doing laundry or something, the card falls out of my pocket. And you know, I look at it, and what do? You know, he's telling me I have this look, I can do this. He's telling me what I want to hear. Don't we all just follow that? You meet this girl, you know, you're like, oh my God, I'm in love, I'm in love. You don't see the flags popping up everywhere. It's your mom telling you, watch out for that person. No, you're blindsided by love, your tunnel vision, the peripheral is shut off. Because you want that so much. So you believe it, but you won't even believe it so much in your own endeavors. But this one you will, right? Why is that? You don't see all the damage, right? So he's like, yeah, you can be a fitness model, you can do this, you can do that, you know, whatever. I don't see the side note saying, yeah, I love to suck your cock. I don't see that part. And what happens is you go for it, uneducated, next thing you know, you're in a room and the guy's like, hey, so what's going on? You're trapped. All of a sudden your integrity and everything else is on the line. What are you going to do? Because the thing is, you can punch him out, right? But he knows people, and he's going to tell people, and he's going to blacklist you from this to this. I mean, it's a shit situation any way you look at it. You don't get in that situation. You back research it. You become a student of the game. Mind before body here. So I look at the card, I do all my due diligence, I study it up and everything else. Cool, yeah. He's legit. He checks the box, you know? I give him a call. Is that opportunity still available? Yeah, come on up. So I go to New York, do a test shoot. We end up landing the cover of Muscle and Fitness. That's how it kind of started. Everyone's like, oh, Greg, so lucky, man, so lucky. Give him the silver spoon, man, fuck you, right? No! They said the whole time, the gym for me was never the ends. It was a means to the ends. I went to the gym not to transform my body, so to speak, but my mindset, my fears. Some people go to a therapist and black couch and kumbaya with a stranger and shit. I went to the gym and worked out my stress. That was my therapy. You know, yeah, I get a body too, but that was not the purpose. You know, same before, I was training, not for fitness modeling, but to bring my soldiers home, alive, to be a good wrestler. So in my life, the gym was a different means to different ends. All I did then was change that means to a new ends in fitness modeling. You know, so I had to look, but it wasn't luck. It was a trained ability that collided with an opportunity. And I was ready for it at the time, unbeknown what I was doing. I didn't set out to be a fitness model. I mean, who the hell wants to do that when you're a kid? You know, if you're a kid, you want to be like the president or a lawyer or a doctor, someone of value. Who wants to be like this fake facade, you know? Well, I guess that, you know, whatever. We'll get into that. So when it came out, you know, it was kind of cool. It was kind of a team building thing. So I was a company commander, and we were on the cover, right? And inside, they always do like a little cover workout, right? We have to, you know, get on those really tight shorts and stuff that's so comfortable. And so I remember doing something where my nuts and head were just fucking hanging out, you know? It was really tight, and you'll see a head and two nuts, and it was pretty graphic. And she's looking at me like, where's this going? No, but that's what it was. And I did this whole story about, you know, that champions come in pairs of two, because they battle themselves in perfection. You know, two people stronger than one. You go a lot further with somebody than you can on your own. And the soldiers were my better half. And I always talked them up and everything else, so they really liked it. But anyway, the soldiers, you know, they're little smart asses. So they took this picture and blew it up like the size of this entire wall, and just focused in on the crotch. And it said, Captain Plitt's Peanuts, salted or unsalted. And it's right in the command hallway. So I come to work on, you know, Monday morning. Italian commander's there, walking down. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, and they're like,
Nice package, Don, nice package. Making fun of me, but cohesion, you know? And the unit was killer, you know? It's that cohesive leadership of being able to, you know, the rank you have on your collar, they have to respect, but the respect the person wearing your horn has to be that way. When you turn your back, do they carry out your mission intent without you there? Or do they not? Are you only valuable, they only valuable to you if you're really yelling at them? I mean, true leaders, you know, build leaders within the leadership. Anyway, so I jump into this fitness modeling thing, you know, so I branch, and so I move up to New York, and I'm doing it hard. My very first audition for a movie came up there. And this is how you have to break the rules, guys. You know, you can't, there's no handbook to life. It's here I am, and this is where I want to go. How do I get there? This is the fastest way. You know? But everyone's like, oh, you're not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to do that. Why? Why can't I do that? I'm going to do that. Rewrite it. You have to break the rules sometimes. There's nothing, I mean, you don't break your integrity, you don't break your character. But breaking the rules are self-made society status quo. They exist to hold you back, retain you. There's someone else's handbook, not your handbook. So fuck their handbook. Break the rules. How did I break the rules? A buddy told me there's an audition for this movie called The Good Shepherd with De Niro and Angelina, Matt Damon, William Hurt, military movie. You need a soldier to be De Niro's general's aide in the movie. And I go, yeah, fuck, man, I've been a soldier for 5 years. In real life, I sure as hell can make it, you know? So I go, hey, where's the address? He gives me the address. I show up to this place, right? You gotta sign in. Name, yeah, that's easy enough. Phone number, easy enough. Agency, shit, I don't have an agent. ABC Town. And then agent's name, I'm like, Zach. And you know, agency's number, I put my own number. I sit down. And sitting there, you know, and everyone's got these pieces of paper in their hand. And they're called sides, you know, that's what you're reading. I didn't know what that was. I'm like, hey, what's everybody reading here, huh? What's everybody reading? You know, New York, LA, fuck you, man. I'm not gonna, no one cares about you. No one's gonna give you a bone. If anything, they'll give you the wrong information. So I see all these other papers up on the mantle there. So I go up there, and I don't know what my character is. I'm just looking through them. Like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, West Point, being able to memorize stuff, that's easy to retain it real fast. Oh my God. So after 2 hours, the guy comes in, he's like, hey man, who are you? I don't have you on the records. I go, Zach, ABC Talent. I haven't heard of that. He should have called you. No, he never called me. That motherfucker. You know, it's the 4th time he's done it this week. That's it, man. He goes, hey, calm down. I'll try to squeeze you in. I appreciate that, man, but fuck, I'm gonna talk to Zach about this. This is unacceptable. And he's like, okay, man. So anyway, I had to wait a while. Finally, I get my chance to go in there, and he's recording it and everything else. Now, part of the dialogue is like one of the lines was, it's time to go general, right? Well, that's not military protocol because you always get their attention, especially a superior officer, so you would say general, and then you fucking wait until he's ready, then you dump the intel to him. It's not like you just yell it out, fucker. You know, you say, hey, sir, and when he's ready, sir, it's time to go when you're ready. Thank you. So it's time to go, General. It doesn't work that way if you want to stay in the military. So I kept saying it the way it should have been said, but it's written the wrong way. And this casting director, who really is just a failed actor, that's why he's the casting director now, he's like, hey, man, you keep saying it wrong, man. You keep saying it wrong, like coming at me, you know? I'm like, no, I'm saying it right. You guys wrote it wrong. And by the way, you know, are we inside or outside? Am I saluting? Am I specialist at attention? Am I a major at parade rest? You guys are giving me no intel. You're setting me up for failure right here. Where's the information? And he's just like, what? I go, yeah, man. You always get the attention of them, and then you deliver the intel. You know, if am I at parade rest? Am I outside? Am I wearing a hat? It's a different salute. You guys, he goes, get out of here. Kick me out, man. On the way out, I go, fuck you, man. And I left. Well, that was rolling. That was on the camera. So when De Niro saw it, he's like, dude, that's our guy. Because you know, fucking he is the guy, you know? You can tell him anything to do it, and the reel's going to come out, man. So I got the part. It's like 2 days later, my phone rings. And I'm like, hello? And they're like, yeah, Zach there. I'm like, no fucking Zach here, man. Whoa, wait a second. He's in the bathroom. Let me get him for you. I almost messed up there. Come back. Oh, this is Zach. Yeah? Oh, that's great. Well, I'm going to check his schedule. He's in high demand right now. Now I'm fucking with him a little bit, you know? It's like, let me get back to you real fast, you know? Hang up. I'm like, yeah. So, you know, that's, you know, one of my first covers. Iron Man, more breaking the rules, went down this way. I couldn't get in the room. He didn't want to see me or anything else. I thought I had the ability,
but I wasn't on his radar at all. Iron Man, controlled by two conglomerates. It's shot in LA, but the headquarters at the time was in New York, two different people. So what I did was I wrote an article about myself, a bio of who I was and everything else, so I thought it was very compelling. And I sent it to them. Then I called them to New York. And I called them as if I was one of the assistants in LA. I said, hey man, you guys get this article on this guy Greg Plitt bio, man? Man, well, we gotta shoot him, man. He's in high demand. Everyone wants him here right now. Have you read it yet? How many? I just need to know. I mean, I know it's approved already. I just need to know how many pages do we have allotted for this awesome story. He's like, wait, hold on. I know what's going on. Oh yeah, I got it right here. He goes, hey, I need to know them right away. So 2 hours, read real fast. Tell me how much content we can use. Is it you want a 12-page or 15-page spread? I need to know right away because this guy's coming in. He's like, all right, I'll get back to you. Sure as shit, man. Like he calls them. You know? And it's like, hey, so it's going to be about, so I give them, my number, so they call me back and say, all right, cool. So then what I do is I send it to them, to LA, and say, hey, so flip the script though. Hey, we got this great thing, man, we're going to 15-page spread, so they know about it already, right? So I call LA and say, hey, we need to book the shoot. He's doing a show right now, which I wasn't. And he's got to be there at this time. He only has these 3 days. What's the best day? So I can call him, his agency and stuff. And they're like, okay, and I'm talking to the assistant, so I'm like, just kind of going at him, like attacking him. He's scared, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's like, let me look at the schedule, open on Friday. All right, cool, what time? And he's like, 9:30. And he's like, 9:30 is good. Okay, the whole day, because we had a 15-page spread here, let me get it, all right, cool, set. So anyway, I show up that day, and I'm in shape. And Mike Neview's a photographer. And he's like, what are we doing today, Jude, as the assistant? And he's like, well, we're shooting this guy. And I'm like, who is this? Because Mike's one of the owners. But I never talked to the owners. I talked to the grunt guys. This guy on schedules, on both sides, and we played it back. So when they called, there was reference. When they called back, there was reference. So it all checked out. It was all bullshit.
Oh my God.
But it's a killer fucking article, though. I mean, it's a great write-up. I mean, award-winning writing, about me that I wrote. So I show up, man, and so what I did is I opened an opportunity. That's all it was. I was given an opportunity. Now I had to have the ability to back it up. So I go there, and Mike Neview's like, dude, I don't know who you are, man. I'm wearing like a shirt, whatever else. Yeah, we'll do a few shots real fast. That's all it's ever going to be. 10 minutes maybe. Just to check the box, and he's going to dismiss it. I warm up, get in shape, take the shirt off, put a little oil and everything else. He starts shooting. He's like, holy shit. We shot for 8 hours. He loved it. Landed cover. Everything I said, I imagined it, wrote it, it was delivered. And I've been good friends with him, probably gotten that cover 15 times over. Every time I want to do something, market something, boom, do that. So you start to work that way. One cover is the hardest step. That first step is your hardest step. But what's a lot harder is to believe that you could have been something with no time left. That sucks. So you got to make that step. Even if I failed with Iron Man, I tried again. Now I'm not saying I'm lying, because what ended up happening was who I was, right? But I had to create the opportunity. Most people sit the fuck back and wait for the opportunity to come to them. The world's too competitive. It's too hard out there. You're not entitled to shit. You're not entitled to anything. You're entitled to show up and give a balanced effort in the best of your ability. Someone's going to be better than you, by the way. That's cool. And you stay standing. Do you go back scared? Or do you go back hungry to train harder for whatever it is? If it's in the classroom studying, if it's networking, finding the right people, if it's learning, the web service and design better, whatever it is, your craft, does it hunger you to enhance that or not? One opportunity, the first one's the hardest. Then there's a snowball effect. And you get more and more, and I've gotten probably 200-300 of them by now. More than anyone else in a short period of time. And for a period of like 5 years, I was going to cover every single month for over 5.5 years. I mean, that doesn't happen anymore because the magazines are all going under. Probably because they put me on the cover too many times. But either way, so now what? Like what I said before, if you're not challenged, how can you grow from it? If there isn't like a challenge on you, like in the gym, if you don't add more weight to the muscle and cause it to fail, then you can't create a demand for growth. Mentality, your confidence, use it or lose it. You have to continue to challenge yourself. Very easy for me to sit back, and be like, all right, man, I'm making a little bit of coin here and there. That'll work. But no, I wasn't being challenged. I wanted more. Not that I'm egotistical, But I like the pressure. You know that moment when you're going up to the girl and you don't know her, and you have those butterflies, that nervousness feeling, that anxiety, you know, that fight or flight kind of moment, you know? That's living. That's as good as it ever gets. You know, some people shoot up for that feeling. Some people snort for it. I just choose to sweat for it. And it builds on itself and builds on itself, and I'm addicted to it. And once you taste success, and you taste the opportunity that you can create it, like Steve Jobs, that you're one person, you can override society's rhyme to reason, that you had that ability, you believe that, then it all just comes out of hard work. Let's keep it going. It becomes addictive. You know, one person with a belief overrides thousands of people with just intent. You know, because that person's belief gets up, and failure, like in Ranger School, I got knocked on my ass. I was waiting for it. It's going to happen. It wasn't unexpected. And when it happened, I welcomed the pain, because that's the glue of transformation. You know, that's where you grow everything in. There's no path, the easy street that doesn't go through a sewer. You got to walk through the mud to get to the higher grounds. It's got to be that way. So you welcome it, you accept it, right? And then you get busy working it. So once I create a few covers, what was I going to do? Well, let's market it. I was still in New York and stuff, doing well. Had this crazy dream, and I was sleeping in New York. I don't know if I was on LSD, which I don't do any drugs, by the way. But just, you know, tobacco and alcohol. I got enough problems with them. I don't need more. I got addictive personality, man. If I take Coke or something, I'm done, man. So I know that I can't go there, you know. So never done it, but you know, that's not the point of this conference. And then, I mean, in all honesty, why do I don't do it, man? Because, all right, so then who you are isn't really who you are, you know. Yeah, let me get totally trashed so I can go have social lubricant to talk to this girl and try to start something, right? Well, once I sober up, you know, I can't talk to her anymore. Then what am I doing, you know? I'm just creating a facade. That's not real. I can't build on that. That module right there has something I can't repeat. Unless my liver's going to go out, but you know, who wants that? I got to go, man. Let's try a new module, right? So it just never enticed me. It never was about that. Getting off track here. So, all right, so I had this crazy dream in New York, right? And the dream is something like this. I don't remember it too much. But I woke up at 5 in the morning. I had a cool place in New York. It was like floor-to-ceiling windows, overlooking like 5 bridges down Battery Park, you know, where all the veins and subways were, so you can get auditions and stuff. So like I had this crazy dream that I was at like kind of giving a speech of some sort. It was a culmination of a lot of work, and the fruition came. It was like almost an award of some sort. It was just like, you know, I remember my mom and dad were in the audience, and it was just this moment, this feeling that, you know, hey, you know, you climb this top. There's more tops to go, but you're at this one peak, and hey, take a deep breath for a second before you keep going. And what I remembered, it was just in LA. It was in LA. I was living in New York. And I was traveling back and forth to LA and Miami, different places for shoots or doing whatever, or commercials and stuff. But, you know, it's so vivid. So I got up and went downstairs to the gym in the building. And it's like 5 in the morning. So I got on a treadmill, I'm just running, but I'm thinking about this dream. And as I'm looking out the window, it's all black, so I'm seeing a reflection of myself. So I'm doing some like kind of self-gathering. As I'm just jogging, you know, at really slow speed because I hate running. And I'm like, maybe it's a walk now. It's a jog, whatever. So I'm jogging and stuff, and I'm thinking about it. I come to the conclusion I'm in the wrong town, and I gotta go. Today I gotta go. And again, you're crazy. What are you doing? I go upstairs in my room, man. I start taking some pictures. I put it on Craigslist, West Side Rentals, you know, everything else. Now I was in Battery Park, where the financial district is, so there's a big turnover of Wall Street guys. So it's not hard to get somebody. You know, I didn't think I'd get them so fast. I put them on at 7. I got a call at like 9:30. Hey, man, can I come see the place? I mean, come on by, man. Come on by. Come on by. This guy's name is Mark. And he comes in and he goes, man, I love it, man. I'm like, of course you love it. It's badass, man. Well, I got like 5-6 more months of my lease still in this place. He said, what's the price? I'm like this. He goes, man, I'll take it, man. I'm like, cool. I'm like, you got to take the bed, the TV, and the desk, because I don't want to take that with me. And he goes, okay, yeah, I like the way they will. How much? I go, this would come up the price. I'm like, cool. He's like, when can I move in? I go, 6 o'clock today. And he's looking around. He's like, really? I go, yeah, 6 o'clock today is good. So he leaves. I go online, and I go to U-Haul, and it's over in Brooklyn. So I go to U-Haul and get the insurance package, because I'm going across country. And who knows how many dents I'm going to have in this thing. So I load up my car, pack it all up, throw it out there. I'm sitting on top of the hood, having a coffee around 5:15, 5:30. He comes by, tosses him the keys. I'm like, good luck, man. And I get in there, and I rescued a pit bull puppy called Quest. And so me and Questy took off to the other side of the country. Didn't know what I was doing. I had to live in that thing for a couple of weeks, you know, because I wasn't situated. I got in a, oh, by the way, he pressed fuck this car up. Chewed the steering wheel down to the metal. Here's it. You know that little foam roof? Gone. You know, kind of pissed in there because I would like go get a quick bite to eat and he'd be there for 20 minutes. And he'd come back with, pit bull, he doesn't like it, just ripping. So anyway, I go to deliver the car back to U-Haul, and he's like, what the hell, man? What am I going to do? I go, hey, right there, look at that page, right there. I said, where? That box is checked. Insurance. Have a good day, buddy. And he's just pissed, you know. So anyway, I'm living out of his car for a little bit too, you know. I go to the gym, take a shower there. That's kind of my mojo, you know. Finally get a place, get kicked out, get evicted because the dog's working too much. Get another place kicked out. I'm like, man, maybe I made the wrong choice, you know. Kept on going. The struggle. I've always known the struggle pays off. I kept going. Landed a $250,000 fragrance campaign worldwide. Boom. No more renting, buy a house. Boom. Bought a house, the height of the market. Got on 2 TV shows. They were coming in, had about $1 million in the stock market. I was doing well. You know, all of a sudden, boom. 6 months later, $400,000 in debt. Just like that. Thinking everything's good to go. Everything's good to go. Come crashing the fuck down. Market hits. Bought the height of the market. Can't flip the house. House is, bottomed out. Spent like $1 million for it. Can't even come close to that right now. The money I had in the market just fucking drained. Started to lose it, but well, I gotta keep it in there to get it back. No, it just fucking dropped out. 2 TV shows got canceled. Well, I'm not getting those bills coming in, yet I have all these bills still to go out. They say your greatest hour comes right after your worst hour to spare. Goddamn, I was that. I had all these parties and stuff, and were you knocking something?
No, I'm green.
Oh,
Green.
okay. Let me know what time. I don't know what time it is or anything else. I'm really fucking long-winded, so, I'm sitting there, and I had these parties at my house with people coming over and stuff, right? These LA people that come with nothing, but leave with something, How does that work? That's the mentality of people. And so when the money ran out, guess what? My friendship ran out with them too, obviously. So I'm there by myself. Before I start pointing my finger at all those people, I got to realize 3 are pointing back at me. Maybe I had to do some fixing, man. Maybe I had to figure out who I am. It's the plane going down syndrome. You have to put your mask on before you can dawn on somebody else, So I had to really look at myself, and I started to really evaluate myself. And I was making good money at the time, though, when it all left. I had no idea, like 5-6 months, I was going to make 10 times that. Never would have if I fucking threw in the towel. Never would have if I didn't see adversity as strength. Never would have if fear wasn't my ally in failure. I knew, I've been here so many times, but never theaters. I examined it, because the pathway out was right here. When people get depressed, that's a positive. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. You're depressed because you're doing something that isn't incongruent with who you really are. If you're honest enough and strong enough to look at what that depression is, it's giving you the recipe out. Why are you depressed? No, this. That's what you have to change. You don't need to come all the way over here. It's just a little bit of adjustment. And then, boom, sell it. It's gone. It's not this monumental change. So I really started to look at it. I ate some humble pie, too. I went to these houses, photographers I used to shoot with, all these covers, to do construction. Because I wasn't just going to go into foreclosure and dump all the, my debt onto the bank. I had ownership, I had credibility, I had character. It was a responsibility. I got 3 dogs now I rescued. Where are they going to go? I couldn't just pull out. Like when you run a marathon, you tell everyone you're going to do it. You can't just pull out. You have to fight through it. There's no divorce card in your back pocket when you get married. Because you're going to work through this. Because by working through and the struggle, that's where the life really is. That's the beautiful thing about it. So I'm looking at it. So I'm still doing construction for a photographer. I'll never forget doing it covered in crap, man. It probably smelled pretty good too. This girl I used to shoot a few covers with came over. And she's like, oh, very cool, man. I was hoping we were shooting together. I go, I'm not shooting. She's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to keep my house, I don't know what that means, I'm a gold digger, shit. Anyway. Which, by the way, I didn't even know that's actually a profession here. I know girls like not even 30, married 3 times. And she's like, I earned this shit. I had to go to sleep with those wrinkly balls for fucking 4 months. And so, I got my Christian Louboutins. Guys are like, what is that? Girls are like, So anyway, I got through it slowly. You know, doing that part, I started to look at the situation differently. You know, trying to find ways to turn Facebook likes into dollars, to turn magazines of what I knew society said there's no money in fitness. I had to find money in fitness. It never was done before. How do you find it? Because Walmart will buy a t-shirt from Calvin Klein. A model will wear it, right? And that ad will get an invoice of like, I need 100,000 in the white and a small, medium, large, right? That's why you get paid big bucks. That clone campaign did $250,000. That's why you get the big bucks for that, because you have a viable product to sell, right? In fitness, you do a cover shoot, boom. Walmart can't be like, hey man, yeah, this abs look good, man. 100,000, I need a small, medium, large. Give me one in like dark, give me one in chocolate, give me a white one, maybe like a cream color one, you know, and let's get it by next week. Is that cool? Doesn't work. So what are we selling? That's how it kind of started for me. What are we selling? We can't sell the body, you know? And everything I looked online and stuff, all this information, how to do this, a quick fix here, a quick fix there. There's no quick fix to a long-term situation. I've never seen that. What are we selling? Where's the market? Where's the money? Because everyone knows in a sedative state exactly who they want to be. When they're a kid, everyone knows who they're going to be later, their dreams. When you're sitting on the couch, you know right versus wrong. But as you embark on that journey, something happens. So in a sedative state, you come up with why you want to do it. And you got to come up with a belief that's so strong. A belief that mentally you've already achieved it. So your physical body will find a way to make it happen. You've got to be at the finish line already. When Rangers school, I was already there. I valued it. I know what I was doing. All this work was a worthy down payment because that was required of it, right? You've got to have that belief in a sedative state of what you're going to do. And if you don't have that belief, then when you start the journey, a debate will begin. The debate is this: as you're climbing the mountain or something, right? You're climbing it, right? And yeah, I'm going to do it, man. Why am I going to do it? Well, I'm going to do it because everyone wants that. You know, it's desired upon, you know. I'll look good to Sally, you know, and then I might get laid. Yeah, so if I get up there, I'll get her. That's not the belief. That's just trying to be someone for somebody else, giving them value. You won't make that journey. You just have to walk there, right? That, yeah, I want it, turns into, me, I don't know after that. Do I really want it? I don't know. You know, because your feet become heavy. You know, your lungs start to bleed, and your heart starts to race. And in that moment, you start to value pain versus pride. You know? What are you going to do? If you keep going, even if you don't make it, if you keep going upward, you're forever living the reality of that dream. If you quit, throw in towels, then I don't care how far you go, how long you run, you can't travel far enough to ever find that dream again because it's dead. And its death is replaced by regrets that you will think about for the rest of your days. People are like, you go to the gym every single day? For now, I'm like, yeah. Like, that's a long time. Like, really? 1 hour a day, or every minute for the rest of your life debating what could have been. I'll take that hour, looks pretty good right now. Perspective of it, right? Oh, again, perspective. I'm running a marathon, right? And I got 4 more miles. I'm so tired. That's what we do. We fail, right? We're looking forward, how far we have to go. Never turning around and see how far we've already come. Perspective on everything. 4 more miles? Oh my God, is that 22? This is a walk in the park. No problem. Perspective, mind over matter. A belief in that journey. Yeah, my feet are getting heavier, but they're getting stronger. I'm getting further. I'm getting one step closer to where I want to be. That's what I'm thinking. I keep going 1 foot after another. And after I cross that finish line, you've heard that pain's temporary, pride's forever. That only is true if you go through the pain to find the pride. Because on the down scale of life, pain is such a more dominating force than pain. Pain's weak. Pain is just weakness leaving the body. It's a temporary thing. It doesn't last forever. It only lasts forever if it owns you. Meaning if it's so strong and you quit. And then not pride, but pain will last forever. And it's like that girl doing the bungee jump. If she didn't do it, the pain, the fear, and everything else, if she didn't commit there, then that lasts forever. And don't tell me that's not in the back of her head when she makes another decision. And she probably won't do that. Even though her true potential could do it. And beyond that, it has to be tested. You know, confidence and potential and everything else is not a God-given right. You know, you build it. It's just like your body and everything else. You have to build it and test it and build it and test it. So, in this moment where I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do and stuff, how do I monetize all this stuff, I had to find what the value was. I had to find a t-shirt I could sell at Walmart. I had to find something that could be passed on. I looked at the market, what was out there, what wasn't out there, what was missing. So in that sedative state, I say, we all know what's right and wrong, right? What happens in that journey? Why do we give up? That's what I was saying. That's what I was finding. That inner voice that you can become something. That inner voice, that pain, what you're feeling right now, is part of the excellence. It's part of the celebration that you're still alive. It's part of that you can push this, and it's a reaction from the global module that you have an impact. You know? You're not entitled to it. You just have the right to try for it. So motivation is what we can sell. Because we all know what's right and wrong. We just lose our way along the journey. So how do you do that? Well, I don't know. I've gone through a lot of shit in my life. I said, when I start a little website, I'll just give back some of the truth of what I've learned. I had no idea what it was going to become. And it's grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. And, and making millions of dollars every year. But the greatest form of return on my investment isn't the monetary value, but it's the transformation I see in people. Because what I'm selling works. That's the other thing. There's no quick fix to long-term situations. There's no gimmicks here. I'm not trying to sell you once. I'm trying to sell you for life. And then once I sell it, because I believe so much in what I'm selling, you're going to start selling for me. Why? Because what it is actually fills a void in society. It's not about making money. It's about making a difference. If that makes sense. When I go to the gym, I work out. It's not about the vanity of the mirror. For me, like I said, it's that therapy, that stress relief. That's why I did it. Yeah, when you do it, it's not around just when the body comes back around. But the passion why I went there is what got me keep going every single day. I had the right fuel in the tank to go the distance and beyond. It wasn't about trying to get a cover. It wasn't about this. That I saw a life out of shape and how I felt. I saw a life in shape. I prefer this life. I go up to bat in baseball and I swing. I've struck it out and I've swung and hit a home run. I prefer hitting a home run. I know hard work out here will up my chances in this. So I do that. I modulate that. So with these transformations that come back, yeah, I lost 100 pounds, this and that. The ones I really get emotional about is the ones that said, hey, you helped me quit heroin addiction. You helped me get back to school. You helped me start paying child support because I wanted to be somebody, a character. Oh, wow, what is that about? What is that? The fuck is that? Well, in the gym, didn't I say it's not subjective? You start to build these honing blocks, this mental confidence that anything's possible, that you can take outside of that non-subjective gym theory to any theory in life and find fruition in that too. Don't think the blueprint of success is different in the fitness world as it is in the financial world, as it is in a relationship world. It's the same thing. If you're willing, if you believe it hard enough and you hard work to it, it pays off. It's that simple. You're not entitled to something. If I give you $1 million, you're fucked because you don't know how to earn $1. So I really hope you never spend it all. Because nothing more is coming unless you get on your knees and start begging for something, but you have the mercy of somebody else. You can't repeat that. You can't win the lottery every time, but you can also learn how to get $1. If you get one, don't tell me you can't get 100 of them. You get one cover, don't tell me you can't get 400 or 500 of them. It's just repeating it. There's you guys heard of Paul Mitchell Hair Salon? Yeah, the girl, guys, you heard it? I mean, West Point, you heard it? You don't use too much shampoo products, right? Oh, it's short hair. So this guy, it's two dudes, man. I forget the names, but it's John Paul Pete Mitchell. I'm not sure, I'm making it up. Early on, when they're selling it, and out of their trunk, one of them dies. The other one carries on the name and turns into this household name it is now. Well, one is this guy, John Paul, because success is a universal blueprint, whether it's in a hair product or if it's in liquor. It's hard work. It's passion. That was a hobby of his. He loved what he was doing. He wasn't doing it for the money. He was doing it because he loved the taste and wanted to provide that. If you're doing it for that reason, not a matter of if, just when your body comes into fruition from the gym, your money comes into fruition, but really what keeps you going? Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs said they never worked a day in their life because they loved what they're doing. It was never work for them. And it wasn't work. There was no stress. So creatively, it's endless. There's no 9 to 5. I hate this fucking guy next to me in the cubicle. God, how much more time I'd be here? What are we going to do this weekend and everything else? 5 days, wasted for 2 days. You don't have that much time in life. And you're going to waste 5/7 of your life doing something you hate? I thought work is supposed to provide some coin to do what you love with who you love. I thought that was logical. How about we flip it all around? That the work is what we love too. And we're doing with people we love. Creating things for other people we'll never know. Hundreds of thousands of strangers will impact their life for the betterment because of our hard work today. Now we're talking about something called legacy. Now that's something that gets me up moving every day. I'm not worried about $100,000. I'm not worried about $1 million. I can't take any of that with me. I can't take the houses, the cars, or anything else with me. What I can take is the memories of it. What I can leave is hopefully footprints of motivation for others to follow and emulate. Not to be me, because no one wants another one of me, enough of that shit. To be the best of them. Well, when I die one day, someone's going to stand up at your funeral. And they're going to give a eulogy, you know? And, you know, I never been to a funeral where someone goes, man, this dude, man, he had he fucked all the women, man. Man, he had cars and money, man. Big wads of coke, man. This guy was the baller, man. No one talks about that. No one talks about that. If we're lucky, someone will get there, man. They'll get all emotional, you know. They'll get there. They're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know this guy. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for him. He saved my life. And I'm going to do my best I can to pass it forward. Something like that, you know? So, and that's a life, man. That's living. We're all alive. You are really living. You know, you have an impact right now. You have the ability to do something with it. Whatever your dream is, we're all different, right? There's no universal path to individual success. It's all different. But every pathway has to go through failure and pain and adversity to harbor and strengthen whatever that is. And thank God that happens. Because when it really matters, when everything's on the line, that's when your product will be ready for it. Whatever it is, guys, trust me, people with far less ability, far less talent, achieve far more because they wanted it. Work it, because you're not going to have this opportunity. This opportunity comes once in a while, maybe. Your youth, the most valuable asset on earth is time. And it's an appreciating asset. And it's on all of our sides right now. There's a parable in the Bible. It talks about a king. He's leaving town. He's got all this gold, right? And so he divides it up 3 different ways and gives it to 3 different people and says, you know, I'll be back in whatever time. You know, this is a short version of it all. He comes back. He's like, where's my shit, man? He didn't say that. I don't think that's the thing. Motherfucker, where's my... JC, can you believe this shit? No. So he goes, hey, he's like, where's my gold, man? So one guy's like, you know what, man? I grabbed your money. I put it in a worthy investment. So here's your money plus. He's like, cool. Another guy. He's like, you know, I thought it was a sure thing, man. Gambled it, rolled the dice on it. Man, I lost it all, man. I'll do my best to pay it back to you, but I'm so sorry. Last guy, he's like, just clean it off for you, sir. Just clean it off. I buried it to make sure it was all there. It was protected at all times. Here it is. Gave me this, and it's to the T. Look at it. Let me clean that off real fast. Yep, it's all there. King is furious with one. Who's he furious with?
The last one.
The last one?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because he didn't use what he was given.
Thank you. Thank you. He wasn't pissed with the guy who lost it because he went for it. This gold, the metaphor thing, is these God-given abilities, these talents that we all have that makes us so unique. In the modeling world, when you go there, what do they want to do, the agent? They want to, we want to conform you to the masses. Blondes sell more than brunettes, or brunettes, so let's be that. What's right now happening? Short hair. Let's do that. And by the way, they like people that are really lean and anorexic, so fucking get on it. You know? What we just did is that we sold our most valuable asset, our uniqueness. There's only one of us. Embrace that. And with that is these talents that make this world so enriching. That's your money right there. And when I say your money, that's your wealth. Not in richness, but in wealth and enjoyment of life. Embrace that. So these talents we have, he wasn't pissed that one person went for it and lost. Or happy this person went for it and gained. He was pissed that this person had the ability to do it, and he buried it. Because if you really think about it, these things aren't ours anyway. They're gifts that we're supposed to share with others to what? Enhance their life. To make them stronger for it. That's what our life is. I believe in an afterlife. I think this is all just the appetizer, man. I really believe it, you know? And if you don't believe in it, get believing in it. Why? Because it gives value to your life. It's like having the marathon in 90 days. You have accountability right now to run that marathon. You told everybody. One night, I had a chance to make that dream a reality. But in the bigger picture, you have accountability to somebody a lot bigger than you. And what does that do? Keeps you sharp. When no one's watching you doing the right thing. because you're accountable for it. Your life's going to be better off because of that. I'm not very religious or anything. I'm not trying to fucking, religion, sex, and politics I don't talk about. But there's messages in there. It's the same kind of thing as like, hey, I'm going to study, be a lawyer, I'm going to pass the bar and everything else, graduation, big celebration. Yeah, hell yeah. The world doesn't need lawyers. What? No job market? Did all that work for nothing, huh? Graduate school. No work to do. That wouldn't make sense. There's always something for it, right? Don't you think there's something for this? Coming out, there's a graduation of life. By the way, there's only one thing you get to do in your life once, that's die. So you better do it right. The immortality, terror management syndrome that we all have in life, hey, we know we're gonna die, but we don't wanna die, so we're very careful in what we do and very cautious and protective and everything else. And in our practice to, erase the inevitable, we end up losing what we're trying to save. We're not even alive, We're not living, we're so scared. We're not going to jump the bridge because we might die. Don't you realize if you don't jump, you just died yourself? And this is bigger, but it boils straight down into a bottleneck in the business too. That we're not here very long, We have the opportunity to make an impact. And so many people are like, oh my God, well, I got this money, I can't lose that, I can't lose this, I can't do. You lock on that ball and chain, lock it on and drag it around there, because you're not going anywhere. If you're gambling in Vegas, let's say you're playing blackjack, put $5 down, right? Cool, man. Probably drinking, looking around, whatever else, no big deal, right? I might look at my cards, I don't know. Let's make it $50 now. All right, I'll probably look at my cards, Let's make it $500. Oh, now I'm looking at my cards and I'm looking at the dealer's cards. Let's make it $5,000. Now I'm looking at dealer's cards, my cards, everyone's cards. I'm engaged. Why am I engaged? Because it's worthy. It's something I might lose. I have to gamble something in order to learn something. A girlfriend of mine went to Vegas with me. She said, hey, give me some money, Greg, to gamble. I can't do that. She goes, why not? I go, because that's not what it's about. That life, that moment, the anxiety, the pressure, that I might lose it or get it, that feeling doesn't come unless you're going to lose something of value. You've got to put your money down. I just, whatever, buy whatever, but you have to be willing to lose something to gain something. It's in that moment that we actually open up our eyes and learn. It was me hitting rock bottom and opening up to find the value on how to make a business that doesn't exist really. You have to be, so what is that about then? If we value this so much and we can't lose it, then how do we ever grow from it? If we can't put the money on the table, and by the way, when you put it on the table, it's already gone. You don't own it anymore. It has to be that way because you got to take emotion out of it. It's all got to be about science and studying and thought process. It can't be about emotion. Because if you still own that money, when you got 16 and the deal's got 17, you're supposed to hit, the book says to hit, you won't hit. Because you're scared to lose it, because you still own it, but you don't own it. That's the only way you're free to really make the right choices. Now, metaphorically, in business, it's the same way too. You make your choices. You find out what you're willing to risk, what you're not willing to risk. And once you put it in there, that's gone. You make it happen then. You can't pull it back out. That's the only way. That's the football scenario again. That's getting the ball, but what is this? Unless you're jerking off, this doesn't work. A lot of girls I don't even know what that joke's about, man. It's like me trying to tell you what how it feels in the third trimester of pregnancy. Anyway. You guys get what I'm saying with that, though? That makes sense? So when I said before, success is also parallel with the challenge. If you don't have a challenge, then you kind of stop growing. So the covers became kind of simple, right? I wasn't getting challenged by it, You need to show up a little bit drunk maybe for that cover, And guess what? I get away with it. Well, this is really bad now. I'm not being challenged. I had to break the mold. I had to do something else. So I started to create a product, Metaball. 7 years it took me. How did that create? Well, I'm on a bunch of shows for infomercials and stuff so I got a little bit of a name in the business, so they're attaching my name to the products and stuff. And I'm out there for 18 hours in these products. And the crazy gluing on the duct taping on it, just crap products. Well, on top of that, the products are made not to change your life, but to make money. It's about profit, not purpose, right? So, and they're also second or third generation of something already successful. So they're just trying to get the remaining bit drained out of that rag, It's nothing innovative. And I'm like, 18 hours, a lot of time to think. I'm like, God, why doesn't someone come up with a real product that fills a void of what society really needs? Why can't we do that? So I started thinking of that. Again, same way I developed my website, right? It was based on what I could sell, what was valuable, what was needed in the community. What I found out by looking at the market, seeing what's there, trying to find a demand of future supply. You know, that's what Steve Jobs was amazing with. He created a supply for what he believed the future demand. The iPad he created in 1982. What's funny about that, the internet didn't exist then, which is like the heartbeat filled with the blood of what the iPad is. That's how far out he thought, man. That's how much he believed in it. People are like, you're crazy, man. Too much LSD at the Apple farm, you know? So with my website, I created motivation. That's what I was selling there. Now with Metaball, what I've seen all these transformations, right, is this love of life. This person that went to the gym was kind of like my sister coming up from the naval academy. Shoulders rolled back. I saw this life form, this energy, this confidence of an individual. Like going to the gym and what? Applying hard work, sweat. And when she got in return, it like defies Newton's law, actually, because you go in there tired, you give up energy, but you come out with energy. How do you give up to get it? It's weird, you know? And you come out of the gym in the morning. I remember like going for runs and stuff in my neighborhood, and I'll come back like from a run like 6 in the morning, and the neighbor just be getting up with his fat ass belly, robe. He'd be walking on his flip flops and his coffee. And I'm like, on your right! And I'll come by and I'll fucking hit him. I could go around him, but he needs to wake up. So fucking hit him. Fucking, hey! I'm like, morning! You know, I'm already 5th gear. This motherfucker just like, you know? You have the choice to be one or the other. You know? The thing is, when you start that way, you get this energy. It's a domino effect. You go into work like, run in circles. So every day you go to sleep a little stronger mentally and physically than you woke up the day. You combine those days into weeks and months. You create the indomitable will, the confidence that anything's possible. And then you go after things. You start to build the confidence and you're willing to risk it, you know, for a valiant effort. You really to go for it. Even if you fail, you tried, you know, and you continue to try. Some will work, some won't work. But as long as you keep going, you've already won. So what I was wanting to create, I saw all these transformations, these people that level of life coming out of the gym. But a lot of people don't go to the gym. You know, it's not about the weight loss they got their life, their confidence, and there's no more problems in life. There's situations I can manipulate to my advantage through hard work, so they do that. My mom doesn't go to the gym. My sister's a facial plastic surgeon. 2 kids. She doesn't have time to go to the gym. People that are real busy want to go traveling a lot. They don't do it. How can I give them that same love of life? So that's how this creation started, by the consumer, finding out a need for them, a demand for them. You know, something that could benefit, not about getting money from them, but about making them sell your product because they believe it works for them. Sell something that's valuable. If you can do that, you know, that's your end goal result. I know hard work pays off. If that's my end goal result, then I backtrack it. What do I need to do? What job experience do I need? What studying do I need to do? Or what network do I need to do? And then it's very easy. It's very hard to get in your car and end up in the supermarket if you have no idea where it is. If you know where it is, then you can figure out how to get there. So if I know what I want to sell, right? I want to find something that can get the same love of life. I've seen so many transformations in the gym, but not in the gym, because the gym's a devil's den for a lot of people. You know, the confidence to go to the gym, or the time, whatever it is. They're not going to the gym. How can I give them that same love of life I've seen in so many people in the gym? That was my mission. That was my problem. So I started that problem. Once I knew that, then how do I find it? I started going to the sports store, started looking around. I saw, like, in Sports Authority, I saw, like, these shelves and just tons of medicine balls. Different sizes, all the same function, just different sizes, different weights. And I go, huh. I saw all these dumbbells. All the same function, different weights. I saw all these kettlebells, same thing. I saw all this massive inventory for 3 different things. I go, fuck, man, I think it's here somewhere. You know, really, I think it's here. So I started thinking, I go, is there a way, possibly, to make one ball be anywhere, adjustable? But maybe that the ball could do something and maybe transform into this and this, and I could take this entire room of inventory, put it in my hand, and make it mobile. So now I've taken an idea in my head, and I'm starting to turn an idea into actually, you know, a concrete, tangible item. So I said, all right, I want to make a medicine ball or something, where I can open up and change and stuff. So I started drawing things, CAD drawing. In 7 years, got over $1 million worth of money in a bunch of people on board. So basically, we created the Metaball. It's handles, right? And it's a cylinder in the beginning, it's a button here. It rotates all the way around, so now you get further range of motion, right? You're not fixed here. If you're playing golf, you have to rotate. It has to be ergonomics of the body. You can't have the body going like this because you're building bad muscle memory, right? You got to be natural flow there, right? So the rotation is good. But then you hit the button, pushes it, spin weights in. So one ball can be any weight now, but it also opens up. So now you got to set dumbbells. Boom, the handles big enough. You got your kettlebells. Need a step further. Need a step further. How do we go even further? Try and create value, not profit, but value. When it opens up, how do I put this thing into a female portion or something to rotate ball bearings? Like that perfect push-up, I saw that success. So boom, goes right in there into a female portion, it's ball bearing. Now I have a rotational thing, but the quality is so good, we can stand on top of it and do all this abdominal work on top of it. Need more work, I need more stuff. What else can we do? Get bands, put bands onto it, attach it to it. So now we have progressive resistance too. Fucking bands go on the door, now we can go with gravity, against gravity. Now, it's another 100 exercises. Need more. These weights were really big, circular weights. That's the problem with them, right? Because it's dead weight, it's hard to ship it costs a lot of money. I had to fucking make a solution there. It's not a problem, it's a situation. Let's manipulate it, right? How do I transport this weight that's huge cheaper? Well, now I'm thinking about it, right? It's like when I had the landscape business. I was thinking about it, and now I see all these fucking landscapers. I'm thinking about it, so now the solution is open, the opportunity's there. I'm watching TV, that stupid commercial for United States Postal Service with the fucking dude, hey, how you doing? And it's like, if it fits, it ships. It's got this box. Like, whatever fits in there, one flat rate. I go out and get that box. If it fits, it ships. The reason why, because nothing fits in it, man. That's why it ships, nothing fits in it. So I got a circular weight, it doesn't go on like that. I'm going to make it fit in there. I redesigned the weight to fit in that box. So it's like a dog bone, right? So now all of a sudden I can ship 10 pounds of weight for $4.95 when it was $18.95. Boom, check solved. Huge return right there. But what that did, it also created another opportunity. I was looking at this weight, I go, let me make this into something. How do I make this into something? Obviously, the more weights you spin onto the ball, the heavier balls, but maybe the weight itself can be something. Well, I see another thing in the fitness industry. All the girls want that ass, Brazilian butt lift. I don't understand that, by the way. All the girls want the ass, that's a big thing these days, the ass. Which is really weird because, if the wrong person's looking at the ass, they get pissed. And they build that ass and they're like, oh, you don't like me for my brain. It's like, well, that's all your efforts goes into is these and this, and the hair's fake, the lips are fake, everything's what's real, And you don't respect me. You don't respect yourself. I'm going to look at what I see. I don't know. Sorry Dad didn't give you love. I'm not there. Got to move on. All right. Sideways. Not the issue. That was yesterday's time. So I was like, all right, wait a second. I look at the Brazilian butt lift and stuff, and it's just movements and stuff. I go, what if we do progressive weight on there? More weight, more demand, more stress on the muscle. And I go, maybe make this part of your foot. The problem with ankle weights is right on your ankle. So it pushes against your joint. That's bad for you, right? We just want to have your foot. This thing kind of looked like one. So I made the weight into a T-bar. Stretching to the bottom of your foot. You can add weight to it. Now you're doing all this work, and it's like, I do it, man. It's grilling. What do you think, Dustin? No, but so one problem turned into a solution and turned into another product. So now I had all these things. I was like, great. Doesn't matter unless you know how to use it. And everything out there right now is like DVDs, information only. That's the market. It's all information. But then you have to go buy the products. Or before that generation, was just product with no information on how to use it. I wanted product plus information because what my goal is to transform the person, not the money from. I want to transform the person. That's my mission when I start. It's about making a difference, having a purpose, not about profit. That's my mission. Now I'm free and clear. Solutions are coming because I have the right mission statement. It's Jobs and Buffett saying I never go to work because I love what I'm doing. I'm loving what I'm doing here, so I'm getting creative and I'm thinking outside the box. All these things are coming and everything else. And it starts to create this thing. So we create like 12, 14 DVDs that go with this. That's badass. Kicks the shit out of P90X shit. I puked a few times on them. But there's also, modifiers. So whatever you are, I'm with my mom doing it. She can get great workout challenge stuff. I get great workouts. My Ranger buddies are getting great workouts based on your ability, and it grows, it supports it. It's parallel with where you currently are. Then I want to find if it works. We did a testimonial group. Bring in 40 people, different sizes, weights, different backgrounds. Some people with physical ailments, bad knees, bad back. Some people in the 20s, some people in the 50s. I'll call them collectively, some in shape, some out of shape. Show them the product, show them the system. Boom, 30, 40, 50 pounds lost. But not only lost, man, they got that confidence again. The same thing I saw with my sister. Same thing I see in testimonials. I go, fuck yeah, check. This is cool. So we're launching in January. It hasn't been launched. But so I had to be challenged. Like the covers weren't challenging me. So I had to move to where I was challenged. I had to get out of the military. It wasn't challenging me. I got to keep going with the challenges. You know? The other thing, I'm waking up. Look at your life, guys. What do you guys do every day? You want to invent something? What do you do every day? What is it that you need? One day, I was sitting there every morning, I go to the gym, you need a little bit of whey protein to get your day started, but you need some energy, you gotta mix them, right? So that's what I started to do. I started to mix these things. I go, I'm tired of mixing it, waste time. I went to the marketplace, I gotta go real fast, but so I went to the marketplace, there's nothing that sells it, there's no energy and protein together, so I go, fuck, there will be, so I created it. And so, you need whey protein, and play on words, whey, W-H-E-Y. And it's energy. You're going up. Way up. That's the name. Way up. What you had in life, that's the way up. So there's your protein and energy, zero sugar, your B vitamins. Went back in the lab, back and forth to create this. We had Serena Williams fucking dying for it. Serena was just pushing it, creating shit. Not sitting back waiting for life to pass by. But why are we creating this stuff? We use it anyway. It's organic. It's true to ourselves. At the end of the day, guys, it's all you have is your name. You can't break it for shit. If you put passion and love behind anything you do, I 100% guarantee you it's going to bear the fruits of your labor. If you're working for the man, get off that road. Become the man. Work for yourself. Build the IPO stock value of who you are, guys. It's the most rewarding thing. And the thing is, don't worry about your friends or coworkers or anything else. Get on your path that you currently believe in. You believe inside. It's so strong. When you get on that path, when you climb that ladder of success, they're your new friends. Collectively, like-minded people going after hard chargers. Fuck these people down here saying all this stuff and everything else. They're not true friends, Believe in yourself. Everything comes with it. But without belief and hard work behind it, the last thing is, know what you want. Like, really, it's so easy to get there if you know where you're going. Find out what that is. Once you know what it is, back research it, study, become a student in the game. The path is there. Failure, really look at it. Be excited about failure because in there is a key to get out of it all. Depression is a real positive thing. It's not negative. It's a tool of self-discovery if you're strong enough to face it. So welcome failure, welcome pain, and with those two come a huge financial return, but even better, a legacy that when you're dead and gone, the person up here at the podium is crying on your name. I gotta go, guys. Thanks for.
A little bit, but it's okay. He'll be accounted for. Any questions, you guys? Here's your audience. Go ahead. Feel free to ask.
9 inches. Next question. I'm just kidding. You gotta crack it up a little bit, man. Because at the end of the day, it's gotta be fun, man. If you're not having fun, if you're not laughing, especially at yourself, what are you doing, man? What's up, baby?
How did you go about creating your brand in the beginning? Because you sort of switched over.
Yeah, I didn't have a brand, What I had was a body, And I worked in the gym to get in shape, whatever. I stay in shape, whether it's sports or military or it's business model. So all I had was myself. So that wasn't product, right? So I didn't believe in I didn't believe myself for anyone else to believe it. So I had to prove you had 15 minutes of fame, first impressions or everything. I stayed idly by quiet until I built what I wanted. When I was ready, then I went out there. But how did I get out there? Once I proved this worked, right? That's the first thing, If you're going to be like a financial advisor, I don't think you get many jobs if you're bankrupt. You know what I mean? So you have to talk. The problem with most of the trainers and stuff, they don't walk the walk. Half the trainers look like they need a trainer. It's like, if I'm going to pay you, you should look like what I want to look like. It's a very visual thing. So you start to do that. You start to build yourself, right? And you pass on what got you this. You pass on to somebody else, and you train them to get them to that. Most people, that's not a paycheck. That person, that's a testimony. That's a business model right there. If you can do it yourself, and then you can teach someone else to do it once, you get one cover, you can get more covers. You get one job, you can make $1, you can make $1 million. You can get one, and now we all we have to do, we have the product, now it's market it. How do we market it? Well, you gotta break some rules, like I said. I went in there and kind of fucking wrote a fucking article to one and pass it to the other, you beat down the door, you don't have an audition. You go in there and you show up. What's the worst they're gonna do? Kick you out? That's cool, But damn well if you don't show up, it comes. There's no opportunity. There's no chance of success. Showing up puts you in the framework to try to get it, So, remember I also said like the sexiest, most aphrodisiac quality that anybody, girl, guy, is confidence. You have that ability, you look it, you walk it, you believe it, You'll go knock on the doors and you'll find the work, but trust me, the work's going to find you too. There's a quantum physics out there of energy. You know, what you believe is what you get. It's the opposite of magnets, where opposites attract. It's not like, I'm real positive, so here comes the shit. No, it's not going to be that. It's like, if you're positive and going for it, man, you know, what's going to come with that is, it's like-minded people. I say, if you really believe in what you're doing, and you walk through the mud of life, get to the higher ground, when you get up there, you're going to be around some solid individuals. I mean, get ready for that. You know, the friends I had in LA that came to the party with nothing or left with something, don't need them anymore. Now I got people that come over with stuff, you know. Any state of cleanup, man. Love you, man. All right, you know. So, you know, it's about creating it once in yourself, and it starts here. If the mind is right, the body follows. If we're confused up here, this can't do anything. This it won't work. But does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So believe in yourself, create yourself. You know, and that's what you have right there is a product. Or, you know, like for me, creating a metaball, or if you're creating a financial report, whatever it is, once you create the product, now it's market the product. How do we market the product? Well, you got to get creative. You know, like for me in the modeling world, you know, I didn't go to the casting directors, you know, or the casting calls, or the agents. I just went to the person that had a decision, the editor, the photographer. You know, when I first started, man, after I got a cover, I went to Barnes & Noble, grabbed every single magazine that I respected and loved, you know, wanted to be a part of. Open it up to what? The editorial page. And on the editorial page is contributing photographers. Wrote them all down for every magazine. And I cross-referenced them all. Found a list of about 10 photographers that shot for everybody. I go, boom, there's my target. Boom. Hired a photographer, so I owned the pictures. Got in really good shape. Had him shoot me, so I had then content. That's half the battle. Because what diamond does is the body. You know, that's a physical motivational thing. What's the story? What's the written motivation? What got you in shape, you know? That's the other half. That's a hook, you know? So I had that. I knew the photographers. I researched them all, found emails and everything else. Boom. I knew where this is going. Boom. Here's the pictures. Here's my story. Here's my bio. Here's the adversity that came through, or came over, you know, from the military. Some people are like, well, Greg, I don't have that story. Or some people are like, well, you know, cancer survivor. Awesome, you know? Or, you know, I was beaten by a, you know, orphan. There's so many different reasons and ways. But some people are like, man, I'm just Joe Average, man. I don't have a story. How the fuck does Joe Average look like that then? That is the story. 95% of the market's fucking average. How do you get so motivated to look this way? That is the ultimate story. You know, get the story, get the images, boom, send it off, send it off, send it off. Keep throwing this shit until you piss them off. You know, finally they call you back because the photographers are the gatekeepers of the covers. And there's no time for that. I call a photographer up there, yo man, need a new model, new face or something, you know, do this ad story, man, find somebody. Yeah, sure. Oh, God, it's such a pain in the ass to find somebody. Who am I going to find? What's this email from Joe Smith? Damn, Joe, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready, man, because I take it seriously. You know, there's no off-season for me. It's called unemployment. I'm always on shape. I'm always employed. You go there, right? And you get there, and when you're there, what are you doing? You're shooting an editorial thing, but you're also going to shoot like a cover story inside the magazine. That cover story could be a cover for the magazine. You never know. But when you get there early, leave late. Even though you're sucking, you're hurting, everything else. Big smile, all good, happy, happy. You're moving the lights with them and everything else. Because these people can work with whoever they want to work with. When you get to that level, you work with people you want to be with. You know, dime a dozen. I'm going to call Greg back because one, I had a great time with him. He's helpful, he's in shape, professional, but he's fun to hang out with. You start to build a friendship. That's like a network. You need three things in life, you know, in this industry. You need talent, you need the look, and you need a network. And you need all three. If you're missing one of them, you're not going nowhere in this town at least. So, I mean, that's what I did, you know. Look at the problem, find a solution. You know, I mean, for Metaball, that's what I did. I looked at what was needed. I was dead broke and, you know, financially broke, you know, at the time. You know, I needed to make some money. I looked at fitness. There's no money to be made. I found money to make it fitness. Now everybody's copying my site. Even the magazines are copying it. Stuff. It's so saturated. But that's a compliment in its own right, you know? But, you know, so what that does, a competition makes it more creative, a challenge. So either they're copying my stuff, now I got to create something else, and create something else, create something else. That's what's fun, and why not, you know? Otherwise, just tap out, man. Just call it a life. You know? I mean, who wants to retire? Retire at 65. Yeah, and he's dead at 67. You don't have a reason to get up every day, you know? Whether that reason is, you know, comes to your benefit or not, I see both as positive. Just getting up and going for it, even the failures, there's strength to be found in that. You know, if you succeeded, great. But, you know, with success, make sure you define it. It doesn't define you. So if you keep doing it, it gets too easy, start up in the game, go for something bigger, because if you don't, it'll start to rob you if you can do it. What was your question, bro?
I was just going to ask where you're going to sell your Metaballs.
This is going to be online first. It's a DR campaign, direct response. You do it for about 12 months, and then it goes into retail market. So Anywhere from 3 to 18 months can be a DR, but then it goes into a retail.
All right, I think that's all the time that we have for the moment right now.
Okay.
But I think you're going to be hanging out with us for a little while, right? Today? Perhaps. On the spot.
Yes.
Greg, you killed it.
Oh, cool. No, I mean, you know, now it's like, what are you gonna talk about? I don't know. I don't have a script. I really don't, man. You know, because it's organic. It's real. I'm just speaking from the heart. I tried to make some notes when I was sitting up here this morning. I even asked you, what do you want me to talk about? I don't have a script, man. My life is living in the moment, man. I'm looking at you guys. You know, like, I have some funny stuff here. You're getting pissed off with the sexual stuff, I can tell. So I'm basically looking at you guys. You know, acting isn't what I'm saying. It's reacting to you. You know, that's the only way it's real, you know? You know, and I'm not scared of you people. You know, up here, take it or leave it. I don't give a shit. But, you know, it's like, I'm up here because, you know, I'm not scared to talk. I'm just speaking what I feel, you know? And your reactions and everything else, you know, even if you do get nervous up here, that's light, that's beautiful, it's powerful, it's cool. Don't be scared to try things. That's where you learn things. You know, so, I mean, I'm not going to come up here and strip and get naked or anything else. She's like, really? There you go, good. Was that your question? It's like, why are you so sexual?
Why did you have to talk about your nuts? No. I've been asking if you ever learned to love reading and what your favorite book is. It's not even close.
My shades are no, actually, to this day, reading is like if I can't go to sleep, just grab a book. So, I'm saying play ball too much, but you know, I can read. You know, rock star, sugar free. See, I can read. I just don't read at all. No. All right, guys. I'll be around in time. What's up, bro? Doing good, man?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, cool, man. Thanks.
I didn't meet you for a long time.
Oh, yeah? What's your name, man?
Marfred.
Who?
Marfred?
It's a good name, man. Unique, man. I like that.
It's inspiration.
Yeah? Oh, thanks, man.
Incredible.
What's going on with you, man? How's your life? What's up right now?
We started a business.
Yeah?
A year and a half ago.
Good, good.
Trying to change lives, just like you.
Good for you, man. Yeah. Hey.
Thank you so much. I'm Heather.
Heather, nice to meet you.
Totally motivated me. And
Oh, good,
I'm
good.
with my business and
Yeah.
trying to figure out what to do. So definitely helped. A lot of things you said spoke to me. So
Oh.
I'm so grateful
Oh,
for
thank
the
you.
opportunity to have you speak here. It was amazing. Awesome.
Thanks, babe.
It was like what I needed to hear at the right time.
Good, 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 good. Nice.
Yeah, it's good to meet you.
Hey, you too, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Best of luck to you, man.
All right, man. Cool.
Thank you so much for your talk today.
Oh, cool, cool.
You are awesome. I'm Jamie.
Jamie, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I was watching you a lot over there.
I know, I was dying. I was like, oh my god, you're so funny and super motivational.
Oh, cool.
And like, you're quick. Like, you think very quickly. I want to tell you, you were asking girls about the butt and like why we work it.
Yeah.
You know, it's our powerhouse, right? It controls your hips, so it's not vain.
No, it's
Girls
more
work the
vain.
butt to be
Yeah.
powerful.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to let you know in case, you know, you have to bring it up again at a time. Can I take a picture
Yeah,
with you?
sure.
No.
Hey man, that's what you know. I gotta say, man. I started my workouts with the motivation every
Cool.
time.
Thanks, bro.
Do your job right, you don't do it at all, man.
That's right, man.
Pick up the toes here, or you dust around it.
There you go, exactly, man. That's it, man. We're gonna grow it this year, man. We're gonna make it all happen. Greg Plitt, help me stay fit. Thanks for watching.